fantastic. Today we have a veteran from irrigation industry to update what is happening in the sector. Mr. Kaushal Jaiswal, let us have a detailed discussion and let's know how it can be bettered in Indian context. Welcome, Mr. Jaiswal.
Thank you, Mr. Dominic, and thank you for having me here.
Okay.
And it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
See, I wish to know, one of the biggest discussion we see in anywhere is the promotion the government of India doing for the irrigation sector. I think astonishingly it is around 90% subsidy I think the government is giving. Is it actually benefiting to increase the irrigation area in India?
Firstly, thanks for this question, an important one. The government of India is spending a lot of money and trying to support the farmers through their scheme which is called PMKSY, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. You look at the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana has two parts. One is Har Khet Ko Pani and second part is PDMC, per drop more crop. Har Khet Ko Pani is the portion of that scheme which falls under the purview of Jal Shakti Mantralaya, and PDMC falls under the purview of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. So there are two important things when you are bringing the water to field, which is Har Khet Ko Pani, by lifting the water from canals or lifting the water from river or lifting the water from anywhere and bringing it to the farmer field, is actually not dovetailing with the per drop more crop. That means if you start micro-irrigating it, it's falling between these two. That's the challenge. But saying all that, fact of life is government has spent a lot of money, and per drop more crop, the scheme which is under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, since the scheme has started in 2015-16, almost 1 million hectare is being covered per year. Almost, sometime 1.2, 1.1, some 1.9 due to the COVID times, but almost 1. And the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, is that to bring 1 crore hectares under micro-irrigation in 5 years time frame. So if they really want to cover 1 crore hectare, we needed to cover 2 million hectares. So we are falling short on that target. There are so many reasons for that, but as of now the fact is that we have covered almost 5 to 6 million hectares in last 5 years or last 4 years. Ideally, we should have covered 10 million hectares. So we are falling short of the target.
I just want to know another thing. Why the farmers are not adopting the way the government is looking at it, though it is giving such a huge subsidy? And what are the ways you feel that we can encourage the farmers to go for it? Is there a need of education or something is related to this fact?
Two basic points in this, why the farmers are not adopting. There are some bureaucratic challenges in this scheme. In most of the time, particularly during the first half of the Kharif, in most of the states, the scheme is not operational, I would like to say. Though the plan is there, but operationally there are issues where the farmers are not able to get the micro-irrigation system for their fields. So the first challenge is this scheme should be available 12 months a year, or not even 12 months, at least 11 months a year, which is not happening. So we are losing out the maximum portion of the Kharif season where the scheme is not available to the farmers. And when you miss out the crop season, then that crop season you can catch up next year only. And this is a vicious cycle. So we are trying to figure out, and we are trying to work out with the government to work in collaboration and maybe see how the scheme can be made available to the farmers throughout the year.
Besides, there is a saving of water through irrigation. Other than that, what are the advantages of farmer if they adopt for irrigation project, what will be the benefits they are getting?
Very good question. I would like to project it in this way. We as a micro-irrigation industry, or if you are adopting the micro-irrigation, we also save water.
Okay.
But other than water saving, it's the system which is good enough to do the fertigation, where you are applying the fertilizers through the micro-irrigation drip lines. Advantage of that is you are applying the fertilizer right to the root zone, right at the right time, and the uptake of the plants are much better when the fertilizer is applied along with the irrigation water to the root zone. And the basic advantage is when you are applying the fertilizer through micro irrigation system, it doesn't leaches down. So when it doesn't leach down, it is not polluting your water table. This is a chemical fertilizer. Your soil health remains very good. It doesn't get evaporated through the evapotranspiration process. So fertilizer use efficiency also increases. Right now, I will just give you an example of the urea. If you apply urea through broadcasting method, the nutrient use efficiency or fertilizer use efficiency is around 45 to 50%. Rest of the fertilizer which you apply either go down deep into the soil, not available to the root zone, or evapotranspiration through it moves away. Same thing when you are applying through micro irrigation, the nutrient use efficiency increases to 90% plus level.
Okay. So it means there is a huge financial benefits also farmers if they use the fertilizer through micro irrigation system.
It's a huge financial benefit as well as a environmental benefits.
Okay, I would like to know you. I know heading the second largest in the world irrigation company. What are your projects plans for India now?
Right now we are having the factory set up here in India, in Vadodara, which is northern part of the western part of the country, and we are covering most of the states except the eastern part of the country. And we really want to help farmers to adopt this very wonderful technology, and we are helping farmers through some of the tie-ups where we are arranging the finances for the farmer, those who are not eligible for the subsidies or even eligible for the subsidy but they don't have the initial cost to fund this micro irrigation system, through some of the financial partners, and ensuring that the finance is not a constraint for a farmer to adopt this technology.
Okay, so this is a new initiative Rivulis is taken. Okay, now you are also heading the Irrigation Association of India. So up to now, I was not heard much about the Irrigation Association of India. What are your plans with this association? What is the intention and the things you are planning with this association?
Irrigation Association of India has been there for long, but now we have re-energized it. It's the association of more than 200 companies, those who are the manufacturers of the micro irrigation equipments in the country. And the idea is to bring all the stakeholders together, where we can work together to grow the industry size, to ensure that education is good enough to educate the farming community for the betterment of the farming community, for improving their income, for improving the quality of the produce they are producing, and at the same time to increase the pie and increase the industry size so that everyone gets benefit. It's a win-win situation, and we as an Irrigation Association really want to ensure that this technology is available in the remotest part of the country and the last farmer standing there.
See, as per my feeling, I feel that you and your organization will be happy even the amount of subsidy is cut short by the government and more participation from the farmer or any financial agencies coming forward to fund it will be more beneficial for the the sector. Is it right?
Look, firstly, this subsidy has benefited a lot of farmers.
Okay.
So there is no doubt about that. Let's
Yeah.
not doubt about that. What we are convinced about that, because of this subsidy, the industry size has not increased. Innovations have stopped. And adoptions is not necessary that if you give more subsidy, the adoption increases. So we have enough number of case studies in the states where the subsidy has gone up and adoption has come down. So there is no direct correlation of the more subsidy and more adoption. So we really need to relook at the way we are subsidizing it and how to rationalize the subsidy so that in the same budget we can reach out the more number of farmers, we can cover the more land, and actually adoption happens and actual uses start happening. So this is the challenge. So what we feel is over subsidizing is not good enough. Yes, subsidy is needed. Farmer needs subsidy, farmer need incentives. So we really want to work together as an industry to rationalize it so that the more adoption can happen and we can reach out to the more farmers with the same amount of money.
So besides, you want the institutions also enter into this micro irrigation so that it can be more evident for others of the benefits.
No, you need to showcase, you need to walk the talk. If government institutions adopt the technology, any farmer can walk in and see the benefits of that. They can also get the confidence of using the technology. So it's more important than at least government institute and agriculture universities start adopting this technology in their farms.
So there is a need for the institutions to come forward to promote it, and the government support there is needed more.
Yes.
That's what it is. Okay. So how do you see the industry is progressing after this COVID and all these problems? How is picking up now?
Indian farmer is very progressive. Let's accept this fact. And his liking and his adoption of the technology, if it's available, is you can say that he is willing to adopt any technology which is affordable, and if not costly, then if the finances are available. And I can cite you a number of examples for that. So India is now the largest market in the world for the drip irrigation, and most of the farmers are adopting it. Challenge with the farmers are, one, it should be available as and when required. You cannot give the technology with your timings. You need to provide the product and the technology at the farmer timings, right? And secondly, you need to educate the farmer, because when you are using it for the first time, you need hand-holding for some time. So we need to create an ecosystem which handhold the farmer and sort out the problems or anything which he faces during the adoption phase. And once it happens, then the sky is the limit. I can assure you that.
Very good. So what is the industry growth rate now?
If you remove maybe 2021 and 21-22, these 2 years, which are the COVID affected years, industry was growing at the rate of 10% CAGR, and I am sure that it will keep on growing maybe 10% or 11% CAGR or beyond that in the coming years.
Great. So it was fantastic talking to Mr. Jaiswal. We understand one thing: the farmer looks for to save his money or make more profit. And Mr. Jaiswal says, see, farmer is beneficial here because he is not only saving the water, but he is also able to save a lot of money in other allied sectors, like using less fertilizer. He can use through the irrigation so that the usage of fertilizer will come down. And there are many added advantages if we adopt the irrigation. That is a side benefits for the farmer. So in totality, we see if we adopt micro irrigation, there is a huge benefits for farmers. Not only that, for the nation at a large. So let's look for more of this type of content from Krishi Jagadan. Thank you.